Hello all. This is a topic I'm actually very passionate about. Please stick around if you are feeling miserable, you don't understand what happiness is, you don't know how to feel happy again, you don't know how to feel joy again. I really hope that this clears some things up for you. It's a very impromptu video, that's why I'm a bit all over the place, and you know what, we'll get into that later. Right, so there are two different types of happiness, okay? The former is more surface level. It's hormonal. It's easily generated. The second is why you might have clicked on this video. The second is more intrinsic, it's soul related, it's spiritual. Let's dive into this a little deeper. The former, happiness hormones. I believe they're dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and I think endorphins. Did I just ask my echo for that? No, definitely not. These can be released through, obviously, scrolling. I'm sure we've all heard of dopamine detoxes, eating fast food, porn. Should I say porn? Will YouTube have a problem? Never mind. Anything that's instant gratification releases dopamine. That being said, other ways of releasing dopamine are exercise. I heard having goals, setting goals, going about achieving said goals. Other ways of releasing happiness hormones is going outside in nature. Can you believe it? What? Like we're meant to exist outside? Like we're animals? Like what? Yeah. So a little bit of nature, a little bit of grounding, gratitude, presence, spending time with loved ones. What else did I hear? Exercise. I had a lot of more exercise, a bit more exercise, and some more exercise. Sleeping, eating right as well. Eating right is also very important because that influences your gut, and I'm pretty sure your gut is like your second brain, okay? So these are all basic, simple things that will make you feel happier. That being said, there is an underlying happiness that people miss, and this is the topic that I am quite passionate about. I think that when people don't understand this, they can fall into a depression very easily. If you're ticking all of these other boxes, right, and your habits are all good, likely they won't be though if you're not taking care of the second type of happiness. Because the second type of happiness, when you're not meeting the requirements of it, it bleeds out into the rest of your life and it can create depression. So even if your marriage is perfect, even if your job is perfect, even if your kids are perfect, even if your closet, your walk-in wardrobe is perfect, even if you have the dream job, you can't shake the fact that something is wrong. And that something is the thing that chips away at you, that eats away at you. And it's the thing where you feel guilt for not feeling grateful enough. Like you should feel more grateful. It's okay if you don't. And I just want to tell you that. Because I think there's an additional layer of depression that comes with guilt about feeling the thing. And I think Chris Williamson actually touches on this as well a lot, which is that we feel guilt about feeling the initial emotion. Listen, honey, life is already hard enough as it is. A fitness journey, I like to give this example, fitness journey is already hard enough as it is. Why bully yourself and make it worse? We release ourselves through acceptance. Accept what is. You feel this way? Okay. Now let's problem solve. When you start adding the additional layer of guilt, you make your life harder. You're like going against the grain and you're not actually helping yourself find a solution, you're staying stuck instead. So the first step, if you're feeling this other level of misery or you're not feeling this other sort of happiness, is I want you to remove all guilt and all judgment for a second. Let's please just take an objective stance and look at the fact that you are a human that seems to be suffering right now. Okay? This second type of lack of happiness, I attribute to misalignment. Misalignment. Your soul is screaming at you. Your depression is a symptom of something else. We were not born to be depressed. We were not born to want to end ourselves. And this is something I touch on my other videos about sticking around. This is a symptom. If you're feeling this deep, deep misery, it is a symptom of something else. Are some of us more predisposed to certain things? Absolutely, I would say so, given our genetic makeup. Absolutely. And I know for a fact that the weather can affect me personally, and you might relate to that, especially during like winter season. That being said, severe sort of anguish within oneself, that is not the problem in itself. That is a symptom of something else. And to uncover that, no one will be able to help you better than you can help yourself. You might have a therapist to reflect to you. You might be able to do perhaps some journaling with some journal prompts, and that can help you to uncover what the problem is. But I want you to give yourself permission to effectively, free flow with yourself, I think you might know what the problem is. You're just too afraid to admit it. Let me give you an example, personally. When I was 17, you might relate to this. There was this talk about going to university, figuring out what you're going to do with your life, etc., etc. In a panic, I selected a degree because I didn't know what else to do. I told my parents, I don't know what to do. There were a lot of back and forths, my parents not being happy with what they were hearing, teachers not being happy with what they were hearing, and so I people pleased, but I did it unsuccessfully. I stayed in a degree that on paper sounded great. The outcome sounded desirable. It was business and Spanish. I thought one day I might want to own a business, and I've always liked Spanish, so business and Spanish. But what I wasn't there for was the day-to-day. I didn't really care about the day-to-day. And I was so afraid to admit that. Because admitting that would mean losing my parents' approval. Perhaps losing my teacher's approval. And it meant being lost. What was I going to do? What was I going to do? Where was the other option? I mean, it was degree or degree apprenticeship or be a failure. I didn't have the doctor lawyer thing, but I had that. And so I stayed stuck. From 2019 to 2023, I'm lucky it was 4 years, not 40, but the sooner you find out, the better. Better late than never, though that being said, sorry, I think I'm contradicting myself. Better late than never. If you're in the 40-year department, don't worry. You're here watching this video. You can still make changes. It's not too late. It's not too late. But for 4 years, I stayed stuck. I remember there used to be this tension in my chest, this sort of nervous energy that I couldn't escape. I can't even explain to you what it felt like. Just this deep inner panic. I didn't look forward to the day, but I didn't even know that at the time. I can say that now looking back because I'm awake. But that's a story for another time, perhaps. Or maybe I'll get into it in a bit. My life blew up in 2023. I failed my degree. Again, I was left with nothing. So I thought. I was left with a lesson. The lesson that I'm now sharing with you. And actually, to be honest, many other lessons. But the thing that I'd been avoiding happened anyway. Just later. And with a little more drama. But sometimes I guess that's what it takes, for us to wake up. I've been trying to people please. I'd been trying to be what I thought people wanted me to be. A good student. Being a good student also meant being a good daughter. What identity are you holding on to for survival? Consider that you might not need it in order to survive. The second thing. I was in a relationship. Bless him. He was a sweetie. 2021 to 2022. I've never publicly talked about this, but for you I will. I sort of fell into this relationship, and initially I didn't want to call it a relationship because I knew this person wasn't right for me. My mom, bless her, kept referring to this person as my boyfriend, and so I thought, well, they're a nice person. I'll make him my boyfriend. That was a painful mistake. The gentleman was lovely. He really set the bar high in terms of treatment. But I couldn't shake the fact that there was something missing. And that ate away at me. This came out through my desires. It came out through the way that I was trying to change him. And it came out through my eventual cheating. Did I go all the way? No, but you know what? The details don't matter. I cheated. And I felt awful. Because here was this amazing person in front of me, treating me so well, and I still behaved like that. They were naturally angry. Even thinking about it, what a mess. But we got lessons from it. They forgave me. Like I said, amazing person. And I swore to myself, because of how incredible this person was, that I would never do it again. I kept my promise. For 3 months. I was trying to be a good girlfriend. Because that's what they deserved. The way that they loved me, that's what they deserved. 3 months after the first incident, I was going through a very rocky patch with something, and I met somebody that was supposed to be my friend. They did take advantage of the situation, but it does take two to tango. They had an energy too about them that I felt was missing in my relationship, and that just made the pull even stronger. And so I went, and I cheated again. But this time, again, I didn't go all the way, but not that really matters. Just for context, because I feel like people might come for me. I had enough sense to not go that far. But the second time, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I remember thinking, this is not who I want to be in a relationship. This is never who I wanted to be in a relationship. I also remembered that I wanted my boyfriend to have 100%, and I wanted so badly to be that 100%. But me doing that again, I realized that I would never be that 100%. And so I took some time, and within that week, I ended it. The rest of the details, honestly, don't matter, but when you are out of alignment with yourself, your soul will scream at you. And when I was in that relationship, every 2 to 3 weeks, I would have a mental breakdown. My body would freeze with anxiety. I'd start having panic attacks. I wouldn't be able to stop crying. This wasn't related to my cycle. I wasn't on any hormonal birth control, so this was just completely absurd. I got out of the relationship, and the breakdown stopped. That's a very vulnerable story for me. But I share it because in sharing it, hope that we can together strip back this layer of shame. Of course, I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to be ashamed of my actions anymore. I've been there, done that. I beat myself up plenty, and I did the right thing by my ex, and I did the right thing by myself. So you know what? Screw shame. Whatever. It happened. Would I go about promoting cheating? No. Would I do that again? No. I have a bit more self-awareness, and I wouldn't get into a relationship where I know it's not going to work out. All right? So there's that. But I want to explain how your body knows. Your soul, your spirit knows. I knew the problem. For both of these things, the degree, the relationship, I couldn't fully commit. And I thought that I was a horrible person. You might feel that too. But what's more horrible is staying in something where you can't 100% be there for yourself and for the person that you love, or the thing that you signed up for. Be all in or be all out. Don't 50-50 shit. It's the 50-50 shit. It's the staying in the middle and not making a decision that causes suffering. I can tell you from experience. 2023, my life blows up. I failed my degree. I moved back home. I was terrified and deeply humbled and in a severe amount of student debt. But I got a trickle of an idea. And I was also excited. For the first time in years, I felt awake. I felt alive. I'm not making this shit up. Because now I had to face myself. Now, everything had been knocked down. I had to rebuild, and the rebuilding was on me. It was exciting. Terrifying. And don't get me wrong, there were many conversations with the parents about where I was in life and how I'm not this and how I'm not that and my siblings this and other people that and what my other people think. Oh, trust me, I got the Asian lectures. And I just want to say, all of this, I couldn't have done without my parents and their forgiveness. I got myself a part-time job. I continued with YouTube. My dad then suggested that I apply for this other job. And I thought, what the heck, I'll get something on my CV. That inkling of an idea that I had was a different degree. But I said, Mahika, let's not jump into contracts. Hold your horses, see how you feel in 6 months. Give the job a go before you make this application. And the degree was for a degree in psychology. My initial plans, not when I first started at age 18, 19 in 2019, but with time as things progressed, especially towards 2022, 2023, my intention was to do the business in Spanish, get it over and done with, and then do a conversion course and go into psychology later. Psychology was playing on my mind, but I didn't speak about it. Not to my parents, not to the world, because I had to know that this was for me and not for show. Not to people please. So I did the job to give my parents some peace and assurance and also provide myself with some stability and some learning experience. The job has been such a blessing, by the way. And it's helped me to become in so many ways. And I will always be grateful to my dad for suggesting that to me. And to younger me for just saying, what the hell, let's do it. But I gave myself that time. I went. I applied. I didn't tell anyone. I've been doing the course. And that fear is still there. That fear of, what if I'm no different? What if I'm just a bad student? That's just who I am. Well, then prove yourself wrong. If that's what you're afraid of. Prove yourself wrong. And that's what I do. That's what I do. Every day. I prove myself wrong. Whatever it is that I'm afraid of, or I feel I can't do, or I feel attached to my identity in some negative way, why does that have to be true? If anyone's going to set you free and redefine yourself, surely it must be you first and foremost, right? I was afraid of being what I had been for like 4 or 5 years of my life. But you can choose to set you free. I say this a lot, whether it's a leap of fear or a leap of faith, sometimes you just have to leap. You could be one decision away from your best life. We also take time for granted. I was lucky, I was younger, I'm living with my parents, I could afford to let time pass like that. To some extent. Expensive mistake, a little bit. To stay out of alignment for that long, but we learned. Don't take your time for granted. Yes, life has been in some ways harder. Yeah. Since the breakup, since failing my degree, yes. I, for a long time, was looking for that feeling of safety with another man, and I have yet to been, my male friends, some of them, oh my god, amazing, but I'm not dating them, so it's different. So when it comes to intimacy, it was hard. There was a minute there, I was kind of stumbling, and I had to find that safety within myself. I would say the bigger impact, or the biggest change I felt, the universe honestly gave me no choice. It was like, you're not growing a pair to go and make this decision, I'm going to make this decision for you. And honestly, there's more to the story in 2023, but we don't need to get into that. I failed. It was very tragic, you know, especially for an Indian family. After 4 years. Yeah. It's been scary. It's been hard. It's been filled with uncertainty, and as humans, we like a degree of certainty. But another thing I learned was you need to count on yourself. Don't think about the outcome. Count on yourself to be able to show up on a day-to-day basis, and the outcome will come. You can look at this adventure and be like, it's terrifying, I can't do it. Just as you think you can't, you equally can think that you can. Confidence isn't necessarily knowing that this is going to happen, but rather knowing that you will be able to figure it out. To be able to survive a situation like that where you feel lost, where you feel like it's just you, and you need to defend yourself, and only you have your back and understand the full extent of the situation. Once you've gone through that with yourself, nobody can say anything to you. Look at that. Look at that reward you get. You get to know yourself on a deeper level. Kind of become unfuckwithable in some ways. Like, oh yeah, okay, you want to talk to me like that? Go through hell and back, then we'll have a conversation. You know what I mean? So, I know I've gone a little bit all over the place, but I'm trying to relay the story best to you, and you might be able to relate to it. You might be able to see yourself in some of it. I'm speaking as somebody on the other side. I had the guts to make the decision when it came to the out-of-alignment relationship. I didn't have the guts when it came to the degree, but the universe sure did. I've had to survive, though, both of the situations. And it's this thing. Let me explain intuition to you, at least from my perspective. We have surface emotions. Happy, sad, scared, frustrated, da-da-da-da-da. And then we have intuition. I don't think intuition really is attached to emotion. It's just a knowing. Your intuition whispers. It's quiet. Your emotions will scream. They're reactive. Your intuition responds. It's gentle. It speaks like a 90-year-old or wise old soul. It tells you to do the right thing, not the thing that you feel like doing. It's a bit of a pain in your ass at times. And your intuition is not logical in nature. That's why so many of us stay stuck, because intuition will have the guts, the audacity to go against what the world says, or what your world says. So since 2023, I've felt fear, anger, severe frustration at my younger self. But all of this is meant to be. I'm meant to feel these things. That's my human experience. I'm meant to be where I am today. And I'm grateful for all of my failures, because look at what I've made out of them. Look at who I'm becoming. Look at the way I support my sister. The way I hold space for my mom. The way that I'm able to support and help my dad. Look at the colleague I am, the friend I am, who I am to myself, how I speak to myself, perhaps even how I speak to you. I think I've done a decent job. Always room for improvement. But I was meant to go through all of that. I am meant to experience all of these emotions. It's hard at times. It hurts. I'll be crying. I'm like, why am I going through this? But my intuition is at peace. There is not this deep feeling of being unsettled. You know what I'm talking about? Before, I had this tension, and I didn't realize it was there until I failed my degree. I could finally breathe a sigh of relief, as ironic as it was. If you're out of alignment and you're trying your best, I forgive my younger self. Honestly, like for the cheating stuff, the degree stuff, I'm working through that. I still got a way to go to make it up to myself. But the cheating stuff, a few bloody kisses, it could have been worse. It's okay. I really was struggling, and I really had no answers, and I was just so afraid And it got so bad. I had to go and cheat again for me to wake up to the fact that this is not right. I'm out of alignment. I couldn't put it into words at that time, but it was just the way it came out was like, I don't want to be treating this person this way, and I don't like how I'm being. It had to get so bad for me to wake up to that. I would say since 2023 I've been awake, and I'm so grateful for that. I don't take it for granted one bit. And you are begging to be awake when there's that inner pain, that deep feeling of not feeling settled within oneself. You want to experience your real truth out here. And I don't want you to feel shame for that. That's an inherent human need, to want to feel in alignment with oneself. I just tweeted yesterday something about how it is a blessing. This is the dream life. This is my dream life. It is a blessing to be able to wake up every day and strive towards something. I spent so long being lost, being in the middle, feeling guilt, punishing myself for not being able to be what I thought other people wanted me to be. And let me tell you something. People think they want things from you. And Alex Hormozi actually said this. People want the version of you that suits them most. Something like that. Disappoint them. Disappoint them. Because they don't know what they need. And they don't know what they want. When it comes to this sort of happiness, this baseline intuition happiness, you owe it to yourself to be selfish. Because no one else is going to listen to that. No one else is going to listen to that music. No one else can hear it. That's your voice, your soul speaking to you. The world will be filled with opinions. Everyone and their mother and son will be ready to tell you what to do with yourself in your life and who you should be and how you should be. But only you truly know what is right for you. Only you. Don't forget your strength. And if you've forgotten it, if you're forgetting it, maybe now's the time to make a scary decision. Disappoint them in the short term. They'll be grateful to you in the long term. Nobody gains anything from your inauthenticity, including you. The world doesn't know what they need from you. It's only when, as cheesy as it sounds, you start to shine in your own light, in the authenticity of who you are, that the world wakes up to the truth you knew all along. This is who I am. Assert to yourself, this is who I am. This is who I am not. I am sorry to disappoint you. It pains me. Pat on the back, like Mahika, pat on the back for trying to be good to a man who was good to you. Pat on the back, Mahika, for trying to do a degree that you thought would keep your parents happy, that you thought would mean success for you. You tried because you were a good person. But being good won't always get you places. Being bold will. And so, guys, I think I've gone on long enough. But I hope that you have a better understanding now of happiness, intuition, and quickly, just to cover this, what you're seeking is alignment. What you're seeking is fulfillment. So even if the day is hard, even if you come back crying, even though you are filled with self-doubt, I am all of these things. I can go to bed knowing that I'm on the right track, that my soul is at peace. That's what you want. That no matter the torment or the difficulty of the day, you know you're doing right by yourself, because the pain and suffering from being out of alignment with yourself will only create further suffering in your life, whether it's how you treat people, whether it's your physical health, your mental health. It will come out. It's like taking a fizzy drink, shaking it, and I let my bottle shake way too long. That sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? I let my bottle shake way too long until it exploded. In both circumstances. Intuition will speak to you. If you don't tune in and listen to that whisper, it will eventually scream through symptoms, through depression, through anxiety, through pain. What you seek is alignment. What you seek is fulfillment. What you seek is knowing that you are on the right track. But only you can do that for yourself. I hope that this video helped you, truly. I hope that you can dare to make a decision that your future self will thank you for. You could stay where you are. You could. And you get certainty. But you also get certain misery. More of what you know. Or you could do a very scary thing. Let your world crumble. Have people yell at you, misunderstand you, doubt yourself even at times. A lot of the time. But you could have a chance. Even if it's uncertain, you could have a chance. A genuine happiness. Genuine fulfillment. Yes, you could still be miserable. But you could also be happy. It's your call. I'm going to love you and leave you. Let me know what you thought. Comment down below. If you want to share your stories, by all means, share your stories. From the bottom of my heart, I really hope you find the courage to listen to yourself and finally do right by you. I'll see you in the next one.